First Covenant Foundation is proud to present the Rainbow Covenant with Dr. Michael Dallen. We'll explore the Noahide movement and its connection to Israel and the Jewish people. For information, online, rainbowcovenant.org, firstcovenant.com, or call 1-313-891-1920. Hi, Michael. How are you this morning?
Great. Good morning, Zelda.
Nice to have you with us. Okay, first and foremost, let me just say that the Rainbow Covenant, Torah, and the 7 Universal Laws, written by Michael Dallen, is available at the Negev and other Jewish facilities, and I hope that's because people have been listening to you on the show and know that this book is an absolute must.
Thank you, Zelda.
Okay, so my question to you this morning, we're following the trend of what has been said during the program, and do you think that I was thinking about during these Christmas and during these Hanukkah holidays that you have maybe a friend, you have a couple, the man is Jewish, the woman isn't, they celebrate both of the holidays, but in turn somehow lose the flavor of the Jewish religion in many cases, and that becomes somewhat of an assimilation. How do you feel about that, and can that be changed?
Well, people don't realize that the Torah, the Judaism and the Torah are part of a unified plan for all humanity. Get my book, go to the foundation site, and you'll learn a lot more about this. But Christianity tries to posit that we just celebrated the birth of the Christian Messiah. And actually,
who happens to be a Jew. Okay.
Who happens to be a Jew, and he happens to be not just a Jewish Messiah, supposedly, but he's also a God. He's omniscient. He hears you when you sleep. He hears you when you think. And he's omnipresent. He's everywhere. Wherever you are, he is, supposedly. And this is a going astray. What they're looking for with Yeshua ben Yosef, or they call him a Rabbi Yeshua, when they try to syncretize what we've got here, these two different religions that are related. They go a little astray. They talk about Jesus as being, I use the Greek name, Jesus being a living Torah. Well, you know, they talk about Jesus as the suffering servant of God, and what you have here is a missing of the target, a going astray. They're missing that Israel, the people of Israel, the Jewish people, are the embodiment, the living embodiment of the Torah. The Jewish people are the living embodiment of the responsibility that they ascribe to this figure of Jesus. They're missing the glory of the Torah. They're missing the truth of the Torah. It's been defamed so badly, particularly in a country like Canada or in Britain, where you have these rather snooty, I would say, British geniuses, these high-level thinkers like Bertrand Russell, for instance, or T.H. Huxley, or these other great minds who. Or Arnold Toynbee, who regarded us as the Jewish people as a fossil people. I mean, they just miss all these things which are signals for all humanity. The Jews are 0.02 of all humanity. Fewer than 2 out of every 1,000 people on the planet. 1/3 of the Nobel Prize winners in science, a tremendous number of the writers, the producers of Hollywood and of films, the chief dreamers of the human race, H.L. Mencken said. Humanity is supposed to pick up on this and go to what makes the Jew special, which is the Torah. And to look in the Torah and to see whether or not this Torah, which has been described by these snooty British thinkers and other thinkers as being primitive, and I mean, they've just defamed it terribly. And so does Christianity often defame it. In these mixed houses, you'll have an understanding of the Torah that's crude beyond belief, and they think it's crude. They think it's that it's patriarchal, it's sexist, it's homophobic, it's cruel, and it's none of those things. And you have to get into, I would hope, into Rainbow Covenant, into our foundation, or study with a black hat rabbi. I do, but even then, I'm struck by how the black hat community, the black hat rabbis, including this genius guy that I study with, often miss the full glory of the laws. I'll give you, I know we don't have much time, but I'll give you a quick for instance. There is a law against abortion in the Torah, and Israel has held by this since time began, since the pyramids. And it says that an abortion following 40 days after conception is forbidden, unless it's necessary to save the life or health of the mother. But within those 40 days, immediately following conception, the fetus is regarded as a mere hairy egg. And in fact, science tells us in this time, the heart has not begun to beat. It doesn't have a nervous system. Only after 40 days do nerve cells come together. How would the sages of the Talmud have known that? It's an incredible thing. This is from ancient times. I was just talking to a Japanese fellow who's going on about the Japanese tradition, and the Japanese tradition teaches that the heart is somewhere around the navel. And, the Japanese are not stupid.
The heart around the navel?
It's a stupid, anti-scientific conception. And this is part of a major Oriental thinking from ancient times. This is what the Japanese have come up with, as opposed to the sublimity and the scientific accuracy. Actually, it's the pre-scientific accuracy of the Torah. The forces let loose at Sinai have given us the scientific age, and we can discover now the full greatness of the Torah. We live in the year 5768, following the creation of the first true men. Science has recently shown us that a gene has popped out in the human germplasm between 57 and 58 centuries ago, and this is they even call it the Adam gene, and we get the first true humans. It was a language processing gene. This just came out. You read it in our newsletter. It came out in the referee journal Science a couple of years ago. Why aren't you sending me
your newsletter, Michael?
Say it again, Zelda.
Why aren't you sending me your newsletter?
Zelda, you have to go online.
Oh, okay.
It's an online newsletter. If we mailed it out to everybody...
No, I don't mean mail it out.
Great.
I mean just to send it by email over. That's all.
They're all online. Okay. You look at them online.
Okay.
And if people want to get them by mail, send us some money and help support us. We're a 501c3 foundation, an educational and religious foundation. We live from not just book sales, but we live from contributions. We need your contributions. If you believe that the Torah is a unified plan for all humanity and that we need to get the word out better, that this is true, that the system has been defamed, that these people who try to merge this Christianity in the worship of a God instead of the God of Israel with understanding of the Torah of Israel are wrong. You should get into us and help us out.
Okay, well,
as you've done, Zelda.
Yeah,
you've been great.
the books are now available at Negev and all the other Jewish facilities, so it's very easy to get it. The Rainbow Covenant, Torah, and the 7 Universal Laws. We have a couple more minutes because Dr. Charles McFeety, we can't get a hold of him in Hawaii. He's in Hawaii, and so
poor fellow.
I know. So he works really hard as you do. But the point is that what is holding people back from not really embracing the full impact of what the Torah does?
Well, it's been defamed so badly and taught so badly. we're coming out with a newsletter shortly that goes on about this new initiative. People want ideas about Judaism. The last book that won this was Judaism as a Civilization by Mordecai Kaplan, the man who invented the Bas Mitzvah. He had daughters, so he wanted to give them something. He was the chief teacher, the dean for 20 years of the Jewish Theological Seminary, the conservative seminary. He rejected the God of Israel. He was a 19th century thinker, basically, like Freud, like Bertrand Russell, and they didn't have the science that we have today. They thought they knew infinitely more than they actually knew, and they didn't know about anything like the Big Bang. They thought the Genesis depiction of the creation of the universe was just unscientific and false, and it turns out not at all. Again, science has been vindicating Torah again and again. The great atheists, the people who felt that they knew too much to believe from the 19th century, wouldn't be atheists now based on that information.
Michael, on that note, I thank you very much for joining us. And once again, the book is available, The Rainbow Covenant, at Negev and all of the other Jewish bookstores and online as well. Thank you for being with us, and we'll have a happy New Year. Have a happy New Year. We'll talk to you right after the New Year.
All the best, Zelda.
Michael Dallen. Bye. The Rainbow Covenant with Dr. Michael Dallen has been made possible by First Covenant Foundation. Online, rainbowcovenant.org, firstcovenant.com, or call 1-313-891-1920.